When I was a little girl, my family would go to Big Mama's house after church for Sunday dinner. The majority of the time, I didn't want to go, but once I was there in my grandmother's presence, I never wanted to leave. Big Mama had many attributes. She was loving, humorous, an excellent botanist, and a phenomenal cook. She also gave a pretty good allowance for cleaning out the bird cage and other chores. As I recall my reluctance to visit my grandmother, I have to admit I felt the same way about spending time with God. One morning, I walked outside with my son to make sure he safely got on the bus, as I did every morning. After his departure, I walked back to my apartment determined to go back to bed, knowing full well that I had a daily appointment with God during this time. But on this day, I wasn't feeling it. My bed was calling my name. I opened the door to my apartment and truthfully told God that I didn't want to spend time with him. Nevertheless, deep down, I knew that starting my day with God was essential. King David understood the importance of God's presence, specifically during times of distress. In Psalm 16:11, he says, "In your presence, Lord, there is fullness of joy." With this realization, I asked God what song he wanted me to sing to him. He immediately answered, and my heart and mouth began to praise and worship him. I too felt like King David. This is what I learned during that moment, that when I surrendered my priorities, God led me into his presence and I experienced his joy. God's joy rubbed off on me. Beloved, this is what our Father wants us to know, that like my grandmother, he has many attributes and he desires to share all of himself with us. Keep in mind that during these uncertain times, no matter what we face, no matter what we experience, the joy of the Lord never changes. Thank you for watching, and as always, live your best life with Christ.